What's going on? Today is gonna be the worst price action I've ever seen of my whole life, right? So let's jump right into it, right? So, in terms of news, we didn't really have anything kind of um nothing that was kind of in our way in that sense, but yeah, I mean we did have Euro bank holiday, which I'm not sure if that um kind of contributed on why we had such horrible price action today. But 8 o'clock we head to Red Folder. Again, London opens at 9. Um, so yeah, we're pretty much clear within our trading time frame of news. But jumping right into it, so hourly after hitting that 4 hour Fair Valley gap, which we hit yesterday, we kind of displaced from there, right? So Um, the hourly, we were just overall bearish, right? We closed below all these lows, bearish intent, nice volume, right? I was just thinking, okay, cool. London should continuate down to these low resistance lows down here. Well, at least before targeting a high time frame POI. But it just goes to show that sometimes when market opens, like when you're looking for those flush trades, they don't happen when they're not in a high time frame POI, if that makes sense, right? Because we're only delivering from a 5 minute kind of point of interest, not a high time frame point of interest. Do you know what I mean? So, with that in mind, so yeah, today was purely off the 5 minute, which sucks, but is what we got. I wouldn't say A plus, but I mean I solid set up for a continuation down to these lows to fuel the move back up to target this fair value gap, this hourly fair value gap, which was created on the displacement down, right? Because that move just can't happen out of nowhere, right? It needs to be fueled, um, which I think is happening now because our fuel was Asia lows as well as relative equal lows as well, which I'll get into. Um, yeah, as you can see on that move down, we created a big 5 minute fair value gap, also a 15-minute gap. I think the 15-minute gap was like somewhere up here. That's the 15-minute gap there. Uh, so I wanted to see if we could dig into this fair value gap a little bit more, which we ended up didn't, right? Because on that move up, we filled in this 5 minute gap, and it was enough to displace through this bearish one here. This bullish one, sorry, here. As you can see, we get that nice push to it. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then, but we always know to wait for market open, right? Because what happens when we try to take a trade during pre-market, you get stopped out, right? So imagine I took a trade, um, off this zone here, right? We get a nice uh breakthrough. This candle comes up and wicks it. It wasn't enough to take out these lows, right? Because what did what did the trade end up happening? The trade ended up London opening. We rip to the upside, take out these 5 minute highs, in which um, you know, it stops out all the pre-market. So it's always a gamble trading pre-market. I've always expressed that from the beginning, not to trade pre-market, because if your move doesn't happen within that 30-minute time frame or that 30-minute zone, there's high chances that you will get stopped out. So yeah, jumping right into it. So after London session open, we had that huge rip up to the upside, taking out these 5 minute highs, which are up here. Disregarding this gap because this gap no longer means anything. But on the move up, we created a 5 minute fair value gap, which was this one here. It's marked inversion, but yeah, we did create a 5 minute bullish fair value gap. We break through it nicely with one clean candle. Um, and ideally, I was just looking for a retest back up into the zone, right? Because it just shows me that, hey, like this was enough liquidity to push us back down even further. As you can see that we're not displacing from bullish gaps anymore. We're displacing from bearish ones. Like again, like we're respecting bearish POIs and disrespecting bullish ones. So this is what we got here, and it lined up perfectly with this bearish fair value gap, which was created on the move down as well. So I think most people call that a BPR when opposite fair value gaps kind of in line with each other. So it makes it a good like resistance area for you to take a trade of, right? So ideally, we waited for a push back up into this 5 minute fair value gap. Um, and when I see that huge rip up, ideally I'm looking for these 1 minute highs to get taken, especially into this BPR here, which ended up happening. We get some nice bearish intent out of it, but my dumbass entered too early, right? And I didn't wait for the closure of the candle. And what ended up happening is that we get that huge push up, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm done for, right? Because there's like I didn't wait for the candle close. There wasn't enough confirmation, right? And I'm about to get stopped out right now because we're putting in that the higher low leg to make a higher high on the lower time frame, right? But I got saved again. Oh my god, I got saved. Just because we displaced from this high really nicely. It was a nice sweep from these 1 minute highs entering this 5 minute BPI here. It kind of saved my ass. I'm not gonna lie. But again, um, once I see that we engulf this bullish candle here, so I'm like, okay, cool. We should be able to inverse this 1 minute gap here to which the trade will be valid, which we ended up doing. And again, we get some pushes up again. We get some pushes up, um, which was very like it's something you normally don't see, right? Like normally we displace, right? And that's what I talked about when we're not in a high time frame POI or like we're not in a high time frame sweep or something like that. This is what happens, right? You get very shitty price action because you're only playing with 5 minute structure, even though you're like we did have some bearish intent, like the 4 hour was down, the 1 hour was down, even the daily was down as well. Again, we just made that retracement on the daily, and then the 4 hour after tapping into that 4 hour fair value gap, we displaced nicely from it. But again, it kind of sucks that we were hanging around these lows when market opened because we don't know if it's a sweep or if it shows some bearish intent, which I thought we did just because um, we closed very very bearish below these lows down here. But again, you never know. Like price could easily just come up, rip up to the upside, um, fill in this 1 hour fair value gap, which again wouldn't make sense because we would be respecting bullish POIs, right up to this area up here. So it kind of like, I took a trade based on what I was given, right? So if this bullish fair value gap was respected, um, I definitely would have waited for that 1 hour fair value gap, which was here, to be tapped to look for shorts down lower. But this is what we got. As you can see that, we did have some bearish intent here as we weren't respecting bullish POIs. Um, so yeah, on the 1 minute, as you can see, we get that closure below. We get that closure below nicely. Price starts to rip up again. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know what's gonna happen because now the trade is valid because we closed below this kind of resistance or support zone here. And I kind of just held the trade out because my break even level was at these 5 minute lows as well as these Asia lows down here. Um, and as you can see, it was just like a shitty push down. I'm not gonna lie, like prices kept sweeping out like lows and highs and lows and highs. Like honestly, it was almost a guess whether price was gonna rocket up or just to take out these lows down here. So it was very like sketch, like especially when we weren't able to take out these lows. Um, After London Session Open when we displaced down. Like I'd rather take out the Asia lows and then we rip up, fill in a high time frame gap, and then take a trade short. But we ended up making relative equal lows with Asia lows, right? It's a good draw on liquidity, but like fuck, like this has got to be horrible, horrible price action down. Like This is shocking price action, honestly. But again, that's what happens when you're playing with the 5 minute only with no. I mean, high time frame. We did have high time frame bias, but no high time frame POI. So that results in kind of a shitty price action like this. But again, it could be due to Euro having a day off, bank holiday, um, because that kind of contributes towards London session, the Euro dollar. So yeah, interesting to see this kind of price action. Tomorrow I won't be trading because we have USD bank holiday, so it's just a shitty day to trade if you ask me. But um, yeah, again, don't know what contributed to this horrible price action during London. Again, my guess is that Euro had a bank holiday today, which is why our price looked like this, absolutely horrid. So I did get out at break even, just because I saw that we had stacked lows down here, especially stacked with Asia lows. So it's a high probable that we reverse off the zone to target that 1 hour fair value gap that I was talking about. So I got out around here on this candle here. I'll mark that out for you guys. Got out on that candle there. But again, wasn't really the price action I wanted to see today. But again, my guess is that Euro had a bank holiday today, and um, that kind of contributed to why we had horrible price action. Ideally, we should have. Um, I shouldn't have traded today. I just didn't think that it would cause the market to move like this. Because I did think that after it looked clean, but then we chopped. You know what I mean? So I think Euro USD Euro had a lot to do with kind of the bank holiday probably had a lot to do with this choppy price action as soon as London session opened. Because do you see how clean like these moves were before London session opened, and then as soon as London session opened, we just chop chop chop, and we slowly make our way down. So overall win for the day. So I guess if I've won, then somebody's lost. But um, you know, we will take um, that trade and yeah, call it a day, honestly. But it's probably a note for me for next time, just to because I've never actually traded while Euro has a bank holiday. So and I think this is a lesson for me to to know that, hey, that maybe you shouldn't trade today. Euros on a bank holiday, and it contributes to London session opening. So yeah, I mean that wraps it up for today. As you can see, we took out these lows, and there's enough fuel to kind of skyrocket this move up here. So yeah, that's it for today. Uh, overall winning day. Again, got saved by the market. But yeah, overall a very very choppy day. So just wanted to wrap that up for you guys. Hope you guys are using risk management. Oh my gosh, and also paying attention to your news, making sure that you're within your news doesn't contribute to why you lose or why you win. Make sure it's always a gamble. Um, you don't want to be gambling when it comes to trading. You want to use high probable trades and entries and everything like that. Um, and yeah, I mean that kind of wraps it up for tonight. There will be no video tomorrow whatsoever, just because bank holiday for USD tomorrow. So it would be uh, Thursday. We probably would be taking a trade, but I don't know. Red photo news. Yeah, we'll see. But just want to say all glory to God. Would not be here if it wasn't for Him. Um, keeping me safe, keeping me mental, keeping me on track. And yeah, I'll catch you guys up. Peace.